Hey everybody, I'm Dirty Dan and welcome back to Greasy Boy Customs. Today, we are back on the Bronco. Now the last time we were here, we were working on this roll cage and we came across a couple issues with the sheet metal on the driver's side. We're going to handle that today and then hopefully we'll move on to doing some stuff with the steering and the brakes. Let's get started. If you'll notice on this side of the truck, you've got a ledge, a 45, and straight down. On this side of the truck, you had the ledge, the 45, out a couple inches and down. Now, this presented a problem, as you can see there with our roll cage, and we had to cut it out. So we're gonna make this side look like that side. And we've already done it back here. We've already put a patch panel in, fixed the hole in the floor there, and we've got that sorted out. This one's gonna be a little more complicated though. Let me show you why. So on our passenger side, you have this triangular piece here, and then it 90s and goes in. You can see right there, you have that little pocket. Well, on this side, you didn't have that because this ledge came out and this was flush and made in two pieces. So we're going to remove the rest of this and then use the passenger side as a template to make our new piece for here. And then we can actually make our mount. Because right now, see right there and right there, there's nowhere to mount the bottom of this. So we're gonna do that and get our plates made. Not only have we made a huge mess, but we've also got this tacked in and looking pretty good. Still have a little piece to put in here, and we've got to finish working this out, and we've still got to drill our holes for the roll cage. But while we're rolling on sheet metal, we're going to try to take care of this and that. That's a weird cutout right there. So let's get started on this mess. So one of the issues we have here is you'll see this patch panel. It's actually designed to go under this panel. But we're not going to do that because we want to make this look as slick as possible. So we're still going to use our patch panel, but we are going to cut right here on this line, and we're going to cut down here and trim these off a little bit, and we're going to make a panel that welds up flush to this and flush to here, and then we'll eliminate these overlaps here. But it'll still be sturdy, and we'll still make sure it's doubled up and supported underneath. There we go, we got that all buttoned up. Great. So we were talking about this hole, but I wanted to address a more simple one first. This is where the clutch rod was going through the floor. Obviously, we're not gonna have a clutch anymore. So we're gonna make a little patch. These magnets are super handy. Amazon, super cheap. We'll put that there and we'll get it sized down so it fits in there and get that welded up. So here's our spot with this weird hole. I don't know what they had run through there, but either way, kind of sucks because it's in these two beads right here. I don't have the right size bead, but we've got some kind of beads started. So what I'm gonna try doing is get this out, tack weld the new piece in, and then we're going to try to heat up and form this to look like this by making some kind of mold of this to shape it. Maybe. Or I probably should have just bought a patch panel. If it doesn't work, we'll buy a patch panel. Just like I assumed that patch we tried to do on the passenger side, not gonna work. So I bead rolled it, and I had the right width bead roll, but not deep enough. And I started it and then heated it up and tried forming it by hand. But using the appropriate thickness steel was a little tough. I don't have a Polmax or any kind of cool tools like that to do that stuff, so we've ordered a patch panel. It's on the way, and it's going to work just fine. moving on. Oh, I forgot to show you. We got the ocean pedals mounted on here. Moving on, we've got this right here. This is a hydroboost setup. Now, the front, the master cylinder and the actual booster part, these are out of a Mustang, I believe, which that was news to me. I didn't know they did that at all. And then the rest of it back here is a kit. Now, our customer picked all this up, and he did purchase a new master cylinder, a Willwood one that's going to work a lot better. So we're going to get this in. But you know what would make it a lot easier is if the hood was actually bolted down and could be held up properly. And that leads me to what else we're going to be doing. We're going to be bolting the hood on, and he ordered some hood struts for this. So we're going to see how that goes, and then we're going to do the brakes. Here is the kit. Got 2 struts, 2 lower mounts, upper mounts, hardware. In the instructions, it specifically tells you, make sure when you install this, you close it from the middle. And this rear support brace in the hood has to be uncut and in good shape for this kit to work. This is from Tom's Bronco parts. Let's see if we can figure this out. Lower bracket, pretty easy. Just count back from your firewall to your 3rd hole. Boom, bolts in. Drill a hole right down in the bottom for the bracket to go through and use the supplied bolt. Now, this up here though, you gotta make sure this is inboard far enough to clear the fender when it comes down. So measure how wide your fender gap is there, transfer it to your hood, and then leave yourself some extra room. I found putting the back side to this edge works pretty good. Center punch your holes that I can't see now. Oh, there they are. Voila. Don't drill through the hood. That would be really bad. If you need to, take a piece of rubber hose and put it around your drill bit like a stop or some masking tape. I, on the other hand, like to live on the edge. And I'm a professional. Not really. See, look at that. I didn't drill through the hood. Take the bracket and the supplied screws, put it on there. Now we can put this on. Damn. I guess I gotta pick the hood up a little bit. One side. Next side. Hey there, Dan here again. You may be wondering why I'm still on the passenger side. Well, that's because I'm an idiot. So, you see, what had happened was I was looking at the directions and orienting everything, and I got a phone call, and I got distracted. I put the wrong brackets on the wrong size. Of course, I realized this after I drilled all the holes. So you know what that means? I've got a hole to weld up in each inner fender well. On the bright side, it's an easy fix, and I still have quite a bit of welding to do on this truck, so it's okay. It's not a big deal. It's just a 1/4 inch hole I gotta weld up. But I bet everything will fit a lot better now. There we go. Click. Broom. Click, click, broom. How about that? By the way, this broom was a great hood prop. See how it works? Oh, they said make sure you grab it from the center, and that's so you don't break it. That shuts. Now the hood is not lined up. The hood's just kind of loosely bolted on, but how nice is that? Ta-da! That's great. As you can see, we have the bracket, we have the boost unit, and we have a master cylinder. This is a stock one that's coming off. 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are going to be your mounting holes. Now the holes on the bracket are larger than this. A 7/16 bolt fits in there nice and snug. So we're gonna mount it with that, and we'll have some room. This is gonna be really close to the engine. I'm curious to see how it fits. And not only that, we have our engine in this one a lot lower than most people do on these Coyote Swap Broncos. And that's why we had to do that lower cross member and all that stuff. So let's get it on there. Luckily, we have an access hole right here. I can stick my arm through. Well, look at that. Clears everything. It's going to be a tight fit with that steering column right there. We're going to have to mess with that next. Clears the engine though. The hood shuts. Fits everything fine. Bam! There we go. Ugly master cylinder. New cool master cylinder. However, if you'll notice, this has vertical mounting bolts. This has horizontal. Also, those vertical ones are not perfectly vertical. They're tilted this way a little bit. So we made this adapter. We also had to cut the rod that was down in here. We had to cut that down a little bit to get the right depth to the plunger. And this had a plunger in it already. We had to take it apart and remove that. So regardless, it's mounted. It's nice and level. Looks good. Everything's fine there. And it's going to work. The only thing we got to do now is the, lines and that plate and all that other stuff. Well, there are two things in this episode that I was hoping that we would get to that we did not. One of those things is the steering column. We're not quite there yet. I've got to do a couple other things before we can get that in, but I promise it's coming soon. And the other thing is, remember that patch we did all the way at the back of the cab? I forgot to mention, we're going to have to modify that patch. Now, we went ahead and patched it in and everything, but we're going to have to make some clearance for the fuel neck in there, so we'll go over that in the next episode too. However, we did get a lot done. The hood struts are on and working great. Our master cylinder booster combo is installed, modified, working, good to go. We got the patches done at the rear. We got the patches done at the front by the trans tunnel, and we got our grab handles on our roll cage. So, not so bad. I'm happy with that. Till next time, happy hot rodding.